Hello, in this video you will learn the skills you need to get a high score in interactive speaking on the Duolingo English Test. Now, we're not just going to talk about them, we're going to practice together so you can improve your speaking immediately. Okay, well, let's go. First, let's understand what this part of the test is really checking. Because yes, there are scoring criteria, but if you do these three things, you will get a high score on interactive speaking. What are they? Well, first, can you understand the question? Next, can you keep speaking without stopping? And last is, can you develop your ideas clearly? And that's it. So in this lesson, we are going to focus on those three skills because they will give you the biggest improvement in this task. Okay, well, let's start with the most important skill, which is understanding the question. Because if you don't understand the question, nothing else matters. So first, just listen to the question, okay? I don't want you to answer anything yet. Just focus on listening to it clearly and repeat the question, okay? I want you to try to repeat it. You can repeat it out loud or in your mind. And if it's too difficult for you, you can also write it down. In the real test, you only get one time, okay, to listen to the question. So this is why we're doing this skill, to practice our active listening skills and also our memory. Okay, let's listen to the first question. Good luck.
Describe a time when you met someone from a different country or culture.
Describe a time when you met someone from a different country or culture. Say it again. Describe a time when you met someone from a different country or culture. Okay, so that's the question. Well done. Okay, let's do another one. Remember, I just want you to try to either repeat the question out loud, say it in your mind, or write it down. And here you can listen back if you need to, right? Because we are practicing. Okay, ready? Number 2.
Describe a time when you disagreed with someone close to you.
Describe a time when you disagreed with someone close to you. Describe a time when you disagreed with someone close to you. So that's the question. Describe a time when you disagreed with someone close to you. Right, now we're going to move on to something more difficult because some of the questions are quite long. So we are going to practice focusing on the main parts, the most important words and phrases in the question. Okay, so this time I want you to listen and focus on the most important words. Okay, ready?
I see. I have another question. What surprised you most about interacting with someone from a different culture?
Okay, so I got what surprised you most interacting with someone from a different culture. Remember, at the start of their question, I see. Let me ask you another question. You don't need to focus on that. Focus on the main part. So, what surprised you most? Interacting with someone from a different culture. So this is the whole question, right? What surprised you most about interacting with someone from a different culture? So this is a long question, and this is why we practice focusing on those main parts. So, for example, the question word, what surprised you about something, and interacting with someone from a different culture. Okay, next one.
Thanks. Let me ask you another question. How do you think meeting people from other cultures changes your perspective?
So I'm thinking, how do you think meeting people from other cultures changes your perspective? Okay, so for example, here on the screen, how do you think meeting people from other cultures changes your perspective? Okay, changes your point of view, your opinion about the world. Okay, so this is the whole question. Okay, now is the most important part. I want you to listen to the question, okay? Use the skills we have been doing. So focus on those main parts, but answer the question, but with the first sentence only. So we're practicing listening quickly and responding, right? Giving our answer quickly. Now, you must answer the question. What do I mean? Well, for example, if the question is, do you think social media is useful? We don't want to say something like, well, social media is very popular nowadays. That's not answering the question, okay? Answering the question sounds like, yes, I think social media is useful because, and you can stop there or continue if you want, because it's a great way to connect with others. Okay, so we're going to listen to the question first.
Describe a time when you met someone from a different country or culture.
Okay, so try to answer the question with one sentence only. To help you, here is the question. So here is my answer. It's just an example. One time I met someone from a different country or culture was when I went traveling across Southeast Asia and I met, right? But this is okay. You can also just say, one time I met someone from a different culture was when, like that. Okay, listen carefully. Good luck.
Thanks. Let me ask you another question. How do you think meeting people from other cultures changes your perspective?
Okay, try to answer. If it's too difficult, read the question. Okay, an example might be, well, I believe that meeting people from other cultures can change your perspective in quite a dramatic way because, so that's quite a high level start to my answer. All right, last one, everyone. Remember, just answer with the first sentence, okay? So focus on the question, one sentence only.
Interesting. I have another question. How might someone's travel experience change if they speak the local language versus if they don't?
Okay, your turn. Again, if it's too difficult, read the question. And this is my sample answer. From my point of view, I think someone's travel experience can change a lot if they speak the local language, since, and I'm using since instead of because here, okay? All right, well done. Now, before we move on to the next section, I want you to practice a bit more by yourself, okay? So go to Arno. There's a link in the description and in the comments. Create a free account. Go to interactive speaking. Decide what level you want to practice and try one set of questions, okay? Remember, you are just answering with the first sentence only. Okay, do that and then come back because it will help you with the other sections. Okay, I'll see you there. Right, well, the next part is about your fluency. What I mean is speaking without stopping and connecting your ideas. And I'm going to show you some exercises I have been teaching for about 18 years, but they work. So please trust me on this. Okay, so this is called the Four Kings, and it's just 4 words. They're very simple, okay, but again, please trust me. It is because, and, but, so. In that order. Because, and, but, so. Because, and, but, so. So what I want you to do is very simple. Answer the question and just use those 4 words. So here we're really focusing on connecting your ideas. Okay, so for example, the question is, I'd like to ask you a few questions about your favorite food. Tell me about your favorite food. Okay, so my sample answer is, my favorite food is pizza because it's very tasty and satisfying, and I like that you can choose many different toppings, but it's not always very healthy, so I only eat it occasionally. And this is true, actually. Okay, I want you to try, please. So use those 4 words, pause the video, go. Okay, well done. I hope that was quite easy for you, or at least useful. Let's do another one. All right, next one. The question is, I'd like to ask you a few questions about cost-saving strategies. Tell me what people do to save money. Before we start, just remember, what is the most important sentence there? The first or the last? The last, of course, because it is the real question, okay? Tell me what people do to save money. This is a little bit difficult, isn't it? It's okay. Let's keep going. So this is my sample. People try to save money because they want to feel more secure in the future. And they often spend less on unnecessary things like eating out. But it can be difficult to save if they have a low income. So many people create a budget to manage their money better. Okay, fantastic. Your turn. Pause the video. You can use some of my ideas or your own. Okay, go. So if you think this is too easy, these 4 words are far too easy, well, you can change them, okay? So instead of because, use since. Instead of and, use also. Instead of but, use that being said, or however. And instead of so, use therefore. Okay? So let me give you some examples. So here's the question. I'd like to ask you a few questions about changing habits. Describe something you do every morning. So here is my normal answer with the 4 kings. Every morning I drink coffee because it helps me wake up and feel more alert, and I usually check my phone at the same time, but sometimes I feel a bit tired if I didn't sleep well. So I try to go to bed earlier when I can. And let me show you what this looks like with the other words, the slightly more advanced words, let's say. Every morning I drink coffee since it helps me wake up and feel more alert. Also, I check my phone at the same time. That being said, I sometimes feel a bit tired if I haven't slept well. Therefore, I try to go to bed earlier whenever I can. Now here it sounds okay. The word therefore sounds a little bit too formal or academic, but I'm just showing you that you can use other words. You can even practice with other connecting words or phrases like on the one hand, something, something. On the other hand, something, something, right? So you can practice answering these questions using these connecting words and phrases. So the Four Kings exercise was all about connecting your ideas. But now I want you to really focus on just speaking without stopping, okay? We are going to train your brain to keep going because in the test, silence is your enemy. You have 35 seconds and that's it. Okay, so this next exercise I call the don't stop speaking exercise. Maybe I need a better name for it. If you have a better name, let me know in the comments, okay? But I'm going to give you a question and your goal is to just keep speaking for at least 45 seconds. And if you can, 60 seconds, okay? And do not stop. If you get stuck, repeat your idea, give an example, explain again, all right? But just keep going. Now, I will answer first, and then you can try as well. I'm not going to try to be perfect. I'm just going to keep speaking, okay? All right, here's the question. Let me ask you another question. Talk about how the internet has changed the way people can make friends. Now I'm going to give myself a timer. All right, I'll go first, then it's your turn. Ready? Well, in my opinion, the internet has completely changed the way people can make friends because in the past, you could only really make friends in person, which meant that you had to go to clubs or groups or meet friends through other friends. But nowadays, with social media and several different apps, you can always meet like-minded people. So for example, if you play chess, you can join lots of different groups, play online, chat online, even have online meetups where people can use video calling like Zoom or Google Meets, Microsoft Teams. And I think you can actually make quite meaningful friends online. For instance, I have actually made a few friends online and I would consider them lifelong friends. So overall, I would say the internet has absolutely changed the way we make friends nowadays. Okay, oh, 1 minute 20. All right, your turn. Pause the video, go. Okay, well done. Remember, it's not about being perfect here. It's just about speaking without stopping. Don't even worry about your grammar at this point. Just keep speaking. And you may be wondering, why am I saying speak for a minute? You might be thinking, but Dave, I'm Dave, Dave, the test only gives you 35 seconds. Yes, but if you can speak without stopping for 60 seconds, 35 seconds is going to be nothing. Okay? All right, let's do one more. So here's the question. Okay, I have another question. How would you plan a birthday party for a coworker, friend, or family member? Oh, it's difficult, isn't it? All right, I'm going to set a timer. Well, if I were planning a birthday party for a coworker, friend, or family member, I would start by thinking about their personality and character. For example, I personally wouldn't want to have a very large party or a surprise party even. And it's going to be my 40th birthday soon. So, yeah, I definitely wouldn't want something like that. So I think that's very important. Then I would move on to location and food options. so that everyone can enjoy the food there. And then maybe I would think about doing something meaningful or special. So it might be a surprise, or it might be to make a special meal for that person, like their favorite meal. And yeah, so those are some of the things that I would do if I were planning a birthday party for a close coworker, friend, or family member. Okay, that's 1 minute 10. All right, pause the video. It's your turn. Remember, just keep speaking. Go. All right, well done. I hope you did that and you're not just watching, because I can see you, okay? No, but really, please try this. It will help you so much. All right, if you're still with us, well done, because part 5 is the most important part of the video. All right, welcome to the most important part of the video. This part is all about your structure and organization. So how you can structure your ideas and make them flow clearly. So what I have taught my whole career as being a teacher, I've been a teacher for far too long anyway, it is PEAL. And that stands for point, explain, example, and link. And as you can see, point means answer the question. What's your point? What's your idea, your opinion? Okay. The E, explain, say why. This is because. Then give examples. So, for example, for instance. And the last one is a link. And so we go back to our main idea and finish clearly. So it's like a summary. We're linking back to our point. And it's called link because sometimes we will link to the next paragraph if we're writing. This is very similar to another one called Oreo. I don't teach Oreo, I teach PEAL. And it has helped maybe hundreds and hundreds of my students, okay? So let me show you. So let's imagine the question is, how can kindness improve relationships with family or friends? So I am going to give you a high level answer, okay? But my point might be, it helps people feel valued and respected. I explain. So this is because, like this. When people are kind, they build trust and they communicate more openly. My example, listening carefully or offering support can strengthen a relationship, right? Strengthen means make strong. And my link, my summary, is kindness plays an important role in creating positive relationships. So let me show you the full answer now. Again, it is difficult, but I wanted to show you a high level answer, okay? So kindness can significantly improve relationships because it helps people feel valued and respected. That's the P, right? The point. That's my point. This is because, okay? I'm explaining. This is because when people are kind to each other, they build trust and communicate more openly. Now my example. For example, simple actions like listening carefully or offering support during a difficult time can strengthen a friendship. And my link. So overall, kindness plays an important role in creating stronger and more positive relationships. Okay, now I want you to notice some of the keywords here, like this is because, and for example, and so overall. I think I will make a PDF for you guys. So please have a look in the description or my comments in the comment section, and that will really help you to use certain words for each part, right? The PEEL. All right, let me show you another one quickly. So the question is interesting. I've got a different question. Do you think social media has had an impact on birthday celebrations? Why? Bit of a difficult question, isn't it? So I want you to try to answer first, and please use peel. So point, what's your idea, your opinion, explain, this is because, give an example, and then link it back to your main idea, right? Give a summary. Okay, you go first and I'll show you an example. Go. Did you pause the video? I hope so. All right, here is my example. Yes, I think social media has had a strong impact on birthday celebrations. All right, that's my point. This is because it allows people to share their experiences instantly and connect with more people. That's my explain part. Okay, next one. For example, many people post photos and receive messages online. Right, that's the example. And last, so overall, social media has made birthdays more public and more connected. And that is the link part. Now, I do want to say to you that I don't want you to worry about, oh, did I get the peel, all of them? I just want to give you some ideas to improve your structure, okay? You don't have to use all of them, but using them can really help you in the speaking and writing sections of the Duolingo English test. Okay, now I really feel like you're ready to start practicing by yourself. So go to Arno. There's a link in the description and in the comments, and create a free account and start practicing with these questions and use the techniques we have been doing in this video. Okay, well, I have been Coach Dave, and it has been a pleasure helping you today. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I will make sure to reply to you. Well, thanks so much for watching until the end, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.